Have you ever had that feeling that maybe there's a message we've missed? Something important that humanity was trying to tell itself, a kind of secret left for us to find, hidden in all our most sacred writings. Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. I mean, really think about this for a second. What if all those myths and all those parables from ancient times, what if they weren't just stories? What if they were something more? Like a user manual for reality, trying to explain the fundamental rules of how all this works. And the material we're pulling from here, it's just staggering. We're talking about an analysis of over 190 sacred writings. Everything from Hindu, Buddhist, and Christian texts to Mayan, Sumerian, and even Hermetic scrolls. I mean, these are texts that were written thousands of miles and thousands of years apart. There's no way they could have influenced each other. And yet, when you really listen, they're all whispering the exact same secret. It's almost like our ancestors were unconsciously creating a treasure map. The greatest spiritual secret on Earth was never really buried in one place. It was just scattered all across our collective story, just waiting for someone to come along and piece it all together. So, you gotta be asking, right? If this message is so universal, why isn't it common knowledge? Well, it's not some big conspiracy. The reason is actually much more fundamental. It's the problem with words. See, the ancients weren't trying to be mysterious. They were just trying to describe something that is, well, utterly indescribable. And they had to use a tool, language, that was never really built for a job that big. And the amazing part is, the people who wrote these texts knew this was a problem. Just look at Lao Tzu. He opens the Tao Te Ching with this incredibly honest admission. He's basically saying, look, the moment I try to explain ultimate reality with words, I've already failed. You can't contain the infinite in a finite container. And it wasn't just him. Jesus understood this exact same limitation. He flat out said he used parables, stories, because the concepts were just too big, too radical to be communicated directly. You have to remember, they didn't have our vocabulary for things like consciousness or quantum physics. Their language was built for the tangible world, farms, weather, family, trade. So what did they do? How did they solve this? Well, they used the only tool they had left, metaphor. They spoke in symbols, in myths, in poetry. They weren't trying to hide the truth. This was the only way they could point towards it. And that right there, that's the key. Once you understand that they were all speaking in metaphor, you suddenly realize they were all pointing at the exact same thing. All right, so when you decode all those metaphors, what's the actual message? What did they find? Well, it turns out to be astonishingly consistent. Across all these different cultures and centuries, 5 universal truths just emerge. They form the core of this hidden user manual. Okay, here they are, the 5 core agreements. Number 1, you are not separate. 2, fear is an illusion. 3, the mind is a projector, not a camera. 4, the ego is the enemy. And finally, number 5, everything is connected. So let's break these down one by one. Let's start with the big one, truth number 1. This is really the foundation for everything else, and honestly, it's the one we seem to have forgotten the most. And it's this: you are not separate from the universe. You never were, and you never could be. And this idea is absolutely everywhere. In the Upanishads, they say tat vam asi, which means you are that. Not that you're connected to the divine, but that you are the divine. In the Bible, Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you. The Sufi mystics put it so beautifully: you are the entire ocean in a drop. Do you see? 3 totally different cultures, 3 different metaphors, but the exact same truth. The feeling of separation you have, it's a hallucination. And that first truth leads right into the second one, which pretty much shapes our entire lives. If we're all one thing, then fear is the greatest lie we've ever been told. And love is the only thing that's actually real. And when they talked about love, they didn't just mean romance. They meant oneness, alignment, that feeling of recognizing that we all come from the exact same source. And again, just look at how consistent this is. On one side, you've got the Bible saying perfect love casts out fear. And on the other, you have the Buddha teaching that hatred is only healed by love. It's the same principle. Fear shrinks us, it isolates us. Love expands us, it connects us. Love is your default state. And every single time you feel fear, you are believing a lie. So if fear is an illusion, who's creating it? Well, that brings us to truth number 3.
And this is an idea that used to be a mystical teaching, but now, get this, it's actually being echoed by modern neuroscience and even quantum physics. And it's this. Your mind doesn't just passively record reality like a camera, it actively generates it like a movie projector.
The ancient Hermetic texts stated so simply, the all is mind. The Dhammapada, a core Buddhist text, teaches what you think, you become. Your beliefs, your stories, your memories, they aren't just your interpretations of reality. They are the filters that literally construct the version of life you experience. In other words, the universe isn't something you're just in, it's something that is happening inside your own consciousness. So, if you're not separate, and fear is a lie your mind is projecting, then this all builds to the fourth, and maybe the most challenging, truth of all. The only thing standing in your way is the part of you that believes all the lies. The real enemy isn't the world, it's not other people, it's not bad luck. The only enemy you will ever face is the ego. But what is the ego, really? It's not you. It's not your personality. The way the ancients saw it, the ego is the story you built to survive your fears. It's a protective mask, stitched together from all your old traumas, insecurities, and conditioning. And for that mask to exist, it needs one thing above all else: separation. The ego feeds on comparison, on conflict, on the need to be right or special. And what happens when that ego's grip starts to loosen? Well, the final truth just clicks into place. And it's the one that ties everything else together. You finally realize, deep down, that nothing exists in isolation. It's all one vast interconnected system where every single part affects the whole. The Hermetic texts captured this perfectly with the phrase, as above, so below. And in Native American wisdom, you have the beautiful phrase, mitakuye oasin, which translates to, we are all relatives. Every action sends out ripples. Every thought vibrates through the whole system. You're not just some separate node in the universe, you are a neuron in a cosmic brain. Okay, so if the ancients all knew this, what happened? How did we lose it? How did humanity go from this deep cosmic awareness to, well, the psychological dumpster fire we often find ourselves in today? The simple answer is we forgot. We got hypnotized by the story of who we thought we needed to be. And the conflict is so stark when you lay it out. Where ancient wisdom taught oneness, our modern culture runs on separation. They knew love was the fundamental reality. We've turned fear into a tool for control. They valued stillness and silence. We've engineered a world of endless, screaming distraction. We basically traded our original beautiful operating system for what the source calls psychological malware. But here's the really hopeful part. Something the ancients also agreed on. Once the illusion becomes unbearable, once the noise just gets too loud, that's when people start to wake up. This widespread anxiety and dissatisfaction we're all seeing today, it isn't a sign that we're failing. It's the sound of the illusion cracking. It's the beginning of a great awakening. Awakening isn't about becoming something new or better. It's about remembering what you've always been. It's about realizing the truth in this incredibly powerful idea. You are not a human being trying to have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being temporarily having a human experience. You were already whole from the very start. And so, that leaves us with one final question to carry with you. If you truly allowed yourself to remember this, that you are the universe in human form, that fear is an illusion, and that you were never, ever separate, what would you let go of? What pressure? What story? What burden would you finally be free from?